let's do it to it. So what we're going to do, this homework, and you have to simplify each expression. Oh, man. Ivan, tell me one thing that has to happen in order for something like these to be simplified.
One of each base.
One of each base. Dang. One. So you got to get all the bases combined. Okay, so one of each, okay. And then what?
Only positive exponents.
Positive exponents. And then you're done. So this one's not simplified because it has a negative exponent, right? So this one, all you got to do is write this as division, because exponents are repeated multiplication. So this would be x times x times x times x times x, yes? Mm-hmm. This one's division. You know, it's really like, there's really an invisible one in the front you're multiplying with, right? So this one, Brianna, is like 1 times all that. Whoa, hello. He's a new student. Oh, well, come on in.
Hello, new student.
Hello, new student. What's your name?
Hey, Alejandro.
Alejandro. Do you go by Alex?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fantastic, Alex. All right. Do you want to have a seat? Oh. Do you see her in the tie-dye shirt? You want to have a seat behind her, please? All right. Welcome. That's Alex. Alex is new. It's tough being new, especially here. Do you know why it's tough to be new here, Dominic?
I'm used to being new.
You're used to being new.
Yeah, I always moved around.
Oh. It's tough to be new here, though. Yeah. Audrey, do you know why it's tough to be new here? No? Well, because, how long have you guys known Audrey? Who's known Audrey the longest? How long have you known her, Alyssa? A year? Oh. Well, most people know other people here for a very long time. And so it's hard to be new because everybody knows each other really, really well. All right, back on track. You ready, Alyssa? Back on track. Here's what we were saying. To simplify, you can only have one of each base. We got that here, it's just 1x, right? But only positive exponents, we have a negative exponent. So the thing we learned about negative exponents yesterday was that, exponents are repeated multiplication. Negative means opposite. The opposite of multiplication is division. And we were just saying that there's really a 1 in front, but we never write it. But I'm going to write it this time because this really means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what that means. But we don't write division that way because it's like, right? Super ugly, and that's hard to write. So what we write instead, we will write 1 divided by 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And if you put that all together, I wrote 5s. I hate my life. Why didn't you tell me something? I wrote 5. Why did I write 5?
I have no idea.
I know why, because it was in my head. I was trying to count 5, and it was funny. I was being really careful, Hazel. I was being really, really careful. I'm like, because, a lot of times you're counting in your head, and then you write the number you're thinking. I'm like, okay, make sure you write X. Make sure you write X. Don't write 3 when it's on 3. And I wrote 5 every time. But it was supposed to be X, 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 5 times. Oh, X, 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 5 times. So that's X to the 5th. So this equals 1 over X to the 5th because that's repeated division. I'm sorry I wrote 5s. I can't believe you didn't say anything. You just like me being embarrassed.
Yeah, especially because you know you're recording.
Oh, no, I'm not, actually. It says right there, but it's not true. Okay. Well, I'm going to put this up there for you guys so you can review this and study, okay? Okay, now. But are you guys okay with this? Why these are equal? All right, so Cesar, check this out. You see number 2 has that right there, the same, right? So then what this really means, okay, we're going to do this 2 different ways, okay? We're going to do it this way first. I'm going to rewrite this one like that, and then times x to the 3rd. Do you see? I could do it that way if I wanted. And then this is really over 1, right? So that would be x cubed over x to the 5th. And if I wrote that out, right? If I could write it all out, and then these 3 would reduce with those 3, and you're left with 1 over x squared. You could do it that way. I think some of you did it that way. When I looked at your homework, but some of you did it this way too. You could do it this way also. Aren't these the same base, x? So can't you add those exponents? So that would be x to the negative 5 plus 3. Isn't that x to the negative 2?
Yeah.
And isn't that repeated division? Either way, you get the same answer. This way's quicker this time. Sometimes, like this kind of approach is faster. It doesn't really matter. But Sebastian, normally I wouldn't write this out. I just like think about it. I'm like, if I have 3 in the top and 5 in the bottom, then I have 2 extras in the bottom. That's how I think about it. Doing good, Dominic?
Yep.
Okay, Dominic.
All right.
Dominic, you ready for number 3?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about number 3. Don't call me maybe, is that what you said?
No.
No? Oh, okay. All right. Brianna, you ready for number 3? Okay. We have to simplify, so that means we can only have 1 of each base, and I have 2 bases of 3, so I have to put them together. Man, I'd like to talk about this in 2 different ways also. You ready? Travis, check this out, buddy. Travis, I know you didn't do your homework, but you got to start.
I know.
There's hope for you still. You're not hopeless. Okay. We're going to do this part 2 ways. Just the 3s. We'll talk about the 3s first, okay? Want me to show you the way I would do it? Okay, the way I would do it is, you see that's negative 2? Like the exponent's negative 2? That means that's going to go to the bottom, and it's going to become 3 squared. And there's going to be a 1 left on the top. That's what I would do. And then I see 3 squared and 3 squared, and that's 3 to the 4th, right? That's how I would do it. You okay over there, Sebastian? Yeah? Okay, now you see how this is negative 5, and it's already in the denominator, so it's going to go to the top. And yesterday we saw why that worked. It was really ugly, so the shortcut's really helpful here. That's the answer. That's how I would do it.
That's nice.
Yeah. Not as nice as Maricela, but it's nice.
I think it's not nice.
She can be not nice? Yeah. Well, it's probably not her fault. She has an older brother, Alex. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, Maricela, you ready?
Yeah.
You want to see the other way to do this one? Okay. Let's do the A first. Okay, and then we'll take care of the 3s. That's a negative, so it's going to switch. It's in the bottom. It's in the denominator. And it's dividing, so you're going to actually multiply by the reciprocals, like what happens. And so that's why it goes to the top. But either way, it moves, and the sign changes, because this means repeated division. You're already dividing. The way you divide is you multiply by the reciprocal, so it gets flipped over. That's why. But now these 2. Let's do these 2 as scratch work over here. You ready? Let's do these as scratch work. We'll use orange. Check this out. Scratch work. That would be, you're dividing. So you subtract the exponents. The top exponent minus the denominator's exponent. Is that right, Gabriel, back there? Like, that's the rule, right? If you're dividing and the bases are the same, then you subtract the exponents. So that would be 3 to the negative 4. And we already talked about if it's 3 to the negative 4, that's 1 over 3 to the positive 4. So it's going to be like that. Either way, you get the same answer. I think this way's easier. But it doesn't matter which way you do it. How many of you guys got that one right? Whoa. Almost right. Bless you.
The 3/4 went on the top, and then the A went on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, so it's all upside down. Okay. Next up, Luis, you ready? Yeah? Let's talk about this one. Let's taco about it. Hey, oh, let me get a highlighter. I want to highlight something. Check this out. Do you see that? That's just 2 over negative 8. That's equal to negative 1/4. You can just reduce it. They're just bases. They don't have exponents, they're just bases, right? So that's going to be, my whole fraction is going to be negative because I'm dividing a positive and a negative number, so that's why the whole thing's going to be negative. Josh, do you understand why the whole thing's negative? Because a positive, yeah, it's a positive and a negative number dividing, so opposite signs. So it's going to be a 4. Maybe I don't need to write the 1 on the top, but maybe I do. I don't know yet. So I'm going to go ahead and write it just in case. So it's 1 times something. Are we okay? Now, isn't that a number divided by itself? Is that right? What's that equal? What's a number divided by itself? 1, right? Or could you subtract those exponents? M minus m? Arath, what is m minus m? 0. And isn't anything to the power of 0 equal to 1? That's right. Oh. And isn't this one the same? Y divided by y, isn't that just 1? Y divided by y is just 1 also. And you could do 1 minus 1, that's y to the 0, that's equal to 1 also. So your answer is just negative 1/4. What's the matter, Alyssa? You made that one really complicated, I guess, huh?
No, I got the 1/4 right, but I did the xm and then I put x squared m.
Oh.
Y squared.
You know what?
So I compared it.
If it was this way, if it was like this, x to the m times x to the m, then that would be x to the 2m. Because you would add those, and m plus m is 2m. But it's this way. So you would subtract them. Which equals 1. Do you see? Okay. Next up, Buttercup. Oh, man. Now, Ryan. You doing okay over there, Ryan? Ryan, these are just numbers. 21 over 27, isn't that 7 over 9? Isn't that 7 over 9? Like that? And then, oh, wait. Hazel, I'm very confused by this. Because does this thing right here, does it go on the top or does it go on the bottom? Like the way it's written right now. So is this the same, like if I write the whole problem again, is it the same as this? Or is it written like, or is it this? Or is it both on the top and the bottom? Where does it go? What do you think, Arath? Where does it go? Where's this 2? Where's this x squared go? Does it go with the numerator or the denominator or both or what? The numerator? Because it's like this, right? You'd put a 1 under it, right? So yeah, this is what this problem right here is really this thing right here. Do you see? Okay, so we already reduced, and this is where we're at right now. Can't have a negative exponent, so negative 7 over 9x squared is your answer. And I was very happy to see quite a few people got that. But a lot of people didn't reduce. What's up, Ivan? You look like you have a question. What's your question, Ivan?
Why does the x unwind up like down there?
Why does the x end up down here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. This, Ivan, this right here, buddy, this is why you're my favorite student. So can we just start off with this part? Can we start there? And so you want to know why does it turn into this, right? Is that right? That's repeated division. So if I look at this whole thing, -7 over 9, now this is really divided by x divided by x. That's what that is. Division by x 2 times. So that's going to be the way you divide by x. Isn't the way you divide by x to multiply by the reciprocal? And 9 times x, isn't that equal to 9 times x times x? Wouldn't that be 9x squared? So that's all the work, and that's why this equals that. So the shortcut is if you have a negative exponent, it's division, so you just rewrite it as division, which is multiplication of the reciprocal. The reciprocal says that if it's in the top, it's going to go to the bottom. But it also says that if it was in the bottom already, the reciprocal would move it to the top. Do you see? It's an excellent question. Who else has questions? Nobody else has questions. So you guys are going to get 100 on your quiz that we're going to have right now, your pop quiz.
What?
Yeah, your pop quiz, you're going to have 100. You ready?